Hello, it is 3:15, and welcome to Snackboy. Snackboy, the show on the internet that at 5 minutes every day, we give you a little slice of life, a little snack, a little something to tie you over. Now, at the end of 5 minutes, just in case you're not familiar with Snackboy's show, we're going to be cutting me right off. I could be mid-sentence. I could be getting to the punchline of the joke. I could be getting to the most dramatic point of the story. But if I can't cram it into 5 minutes, unfortunately, I'll never, ever get to finish. But that's my problem. Anyway, today's story is dealing with religious guilt and mothers and losing your virginity at a Bible camp. Terry, do you know anyone who's lost your virginity at a Bible camp? No. The answer would be truthfully, I do not. Except, of course, for myself. That's right, when I was in the 8th grade, gave it away at New Life Bible Camp. But you're saying to yourself, that's a personal issue, Terry. We don't need to know about your sex life, and especially by telling us it's at Bible camp. Well, I spit in my eye. Well, I've got a good reason for telling you why, because this morning, my mother and I got into a little fight. She looked at me and she said, oh, it's a sin to have sexual thoughts, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Mom, come on. What about when you're a kid and you're going through puberty? And she said, it's a sin even for kids going through puberty. If you think it in your mind, it's just like having an affair. Well, Mom, this one's for you. This snack boy is for Sue. Today I'm going to tell you about how in the 8th grade I met a girl named Kathy. I won't tell you her last name because, you know, it's not fair to drag any other people into my little stories. But Kathy Kresh and I met at Bible camp, and right away we started making the googly eyes. You know, we were like, you know, I'd be winking at her and she'd be winking at me, and we knew that, you know, that kiss was going to come at some point before the weekend. Anyway, picture it. There we are after dinner and after the prayer and before we play, you know, the Mary Magdalene beanbag toss game, and Kathy and I are just feeling the friction. We're looking across the room at each other, and I'm like, and she's like, so I whispered to her, I'm like, hey, tonight after everyone goes to bed, let's meet at the lodge, you know, and just talk. You know, just talk a little while. And she's like, okay, I can meet you at the lodge. So that night, everyone goes to bed, and I'm so scared. I'm lying there in bed. I'm like, oh, Lord, please help us talk and be good and just, you know, and talk about you and have a great time and just be able to control my evil desires. And that night, there we were talking under this huge 10-foot cross, you know, and it even was fluorescent and glowed from behind. So you couldn't even help forgetting your guilt. And right away, as we started to kiss and she even unbuttoned her shirt, she farted, just farted loud. It wasn't even subtle. And here's the funny part. She, instead of laughing, took it as a sign from God and right away started buttoning her shirt back up. And I was like, Kathy, it's a fart. It's a normal bodily function. God did not make you fart. And she's like, oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Anyway, we kissed and we snuggled. And that night I went to bed and I started having dreams. Just me and the fires of hell. I knew I was going to be punished. And here's the worst part. Myself, Snack Boy, I was the youth group minister. Oh, you don't even imagine the feelings of guilt. But anyway, it's time for the viewer mail. Today's viewer mail comes from New York City from Cindy, and it says, Dear Snack Boy, I'm a big fan of your show and love it, but upon reading the About Snack Boy section of your webpage, I can't help noticing you've had many jobs. Can you hold down a job, Snack Boy? The answer is no. I've got what we call short attention span, and that's why the show is 5 minutes long. So among my many good qualities, a long attention span is not one of them. Oh, if you have anything to write into Snackboy, I would love to hear you. I'm at www.thesync.com on the Snackboy page, or you can get me through a couple links. But the point is, I need to hear from you. Snackboy feels very alone. I lie here in bed in Laurel, Maryland, in the Snackboy studio, and I think, who is going to love me enough to take the time to type a friendly hello, or to ask me a question, or to even say, hey, Snackboy, good job, or hey, Snackboy, bad job.